Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar, Omnichannel for ServiceNow, delivered by 3C Logic. My name is Kathy Ruxton. I'm the Marketing Manager for 3C Logic, and I'm just going to go over a few housekeeping items before we kick things off. You will have the opportunity to submit questions today by typing into the questions pane of your control panel. You can send in your questions at any time during the presentation. I'll be collecting them and saving them for Ajay to address at the end of the presentation if we have time. If we don't, he will be sure to answer them when he follows up with you after today's demo. Your time is very valuable, so we're going to try to keep this to as close to 30 minutes as possible. Now I'll turn the presentation over to Ajay Goel, 3C Logic's Customer Success Director. Ajay, take it away.
Thanks, Kathy. Hello, everyone. My name is Ajay Goel, and you can see my picture here. Thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar. It looks like we have a good crowd here today, so I'll go ahead and get started. I'm really excited to show you some of the amazing things you can do with 3C Logic's true omnichannel contact center solution for ServiceNow. Having an omnichannel solution for your customer service or internal help desk teams is very important, more important than ever, because communication is constantly evolving and consumer preferences are constantly changing. It is no longer enough to interact through just voice and email. Today's customers are turning to even more channels, including SMS and chat. According to latest statistics on Omnichannel, 74% of consumers use 3 or more channels for customer service related issues. Since you already have the integration of voice with your digital channels inside of ServiceNow, you're already one step ahead. But you're still missing a critical piece that ties it all together, which I'll show you in the demo today. Also, businesses who leverage omnichannel engagement retain 89% of their customers versus just 33% of those who stick with traditional siloed methods. That statistics alone should make your ears perk up. So why am I showing you all this? This is to illustrate that using your current instance without the full omnichannel offering inside ServiceNow will prevent you from meeting your customers where they are and how they prefer to communicate with your company, which will negatively impact the customer experience and your ability to retain them as customers. That's why it's time you took a hard look at 3C Logic's true omnichannel capabilities within ServiceNow, which is what I'm going to show you today. So before we dive into the demo, I just wanted to set the context here. This assumes that you either are invested into ServiceNow as your system of record or are planning to use ServiceNow as your system of record in some capacity, either as ITSM or CSM or HR or some module of ServiceNow. What we're going to do today is we're going to be looking at the day life of a rep handling work assignments within ServiceNow. Again, any module. And then we're going to be looking at how they can handle disparate channels. You're already familiar with some of the native ServiceNow digital channels, such as chat and email or cases or incidents, but we're going to be covering how they can incorporate voice to really offer your customers an omnichannel approach. And then we're going to be seeing how they can leverage the data available within ServiceNow or data gathered from disparate digital channels to really handle the assignments that they are given in the best possible way. Then from an administrator perspective, we will see how easy it is to configure and manage customer journeys within the system. And then at the end, we will see how the administrator have the extended visibility into performance within consolidated reports and dashboards within ServiceNow, as well as 3C Logic platform. So without a delay, we'll go right into the demo. All right. Once again, I assume that everyone on this call has ServiceNow as their system of record. What you're looking at my screen right now, this is the ServiceNow agent workspace. Some of you might be still using this view and would be most familiar and comfortable with this view, the standard interactions view, whether tickets, cases, or assignments. This is the new agent workspace interface and module. For our webinar today, we'll be focusing on this module. So a couple of things here. Number one, what you see on the bottom left corner is the 3C Logic CTI. As you can see, 3C Logic has its own ServiceNow integrated CTI. It's a certified app on the ServiceNow store. Over here, you see, I'm logged in as a rep, and we're gonna be looking at a typical day for the rep. When they come in, they look at their profile, they log in, and they see their assignments for the day. All the work that has been assigned to them in terms of cases or incidents, chat, or email. And over here, you see the ServiceNow presence module, which shows you the availability of the rep across multiple channels. What you will see here that in addition to the default digital channels that ServiceNow offers, namely chat and case or email or incidents, whatever you may use, you now have call option, which means that we have incorporated voice into ServiceNow presence module so that the work assignments can be offered to the reps across multiple channels. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make myself as a rep available for a voice call. And you will notice that as soon as I make myself available, a rep comes in and becomes available for all the channels here. In addition to the native chat and case or email channel, they are now available to receive a call as well. This is where the work that is assigned to them will show up. Now, once I receive a call, this is the CTI that the reps will use to make and receive calls. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a call, and what you will notice is as soon as the call is connected, system will make the rep unavailable to receive work from any other channel, namely chat or email. Basically, when they're connected with voice, they do not receive work from other channels. Now, for the sake of simplicity, I'm taking a simple use case here that when you are assigned a work from one channel, you will not receive the work from other channel. However, in the advanced workflow assignments, also called the AWA within ServiceNow, you can set up configurations. For example, you can set up that when I have one voice call, I should be able to receive one chat and one email in addition to that call, and vice versa. So let's go ahead and make a call. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the call from my mobile phone, so it looks like an incoming call by the caller. Again, the caller could be an employee in case of an internal help desk, or it could be a customer calling from outside and trying to engage with the customer support or the service desk. I'm gonna make a call from my mobile phone and put it on speaker so you can hear it. We're gonna be going through the IVR just as a caller would.
ServiceNow. You have reached the enterprise support desk. For verification purposes, please input the 7 digits of your account number.
I'm going to enter my 7-digit account number to verify myself.
Your account has been verified. If you are calling about an incident, press 1. If you are calling about a case, press 2. For everything else, press 3.
I'm going to press 1.
For existing incident, press 1. If you do not have an incident number or to report a new incident, press 2.
I'm going to pretend I do have an incident.
Please enter your incident number.
All right, I'm going to enter my incident number here.
This call may be monitored or recorded for quality and accuracy purposes. A representative will be right with you.
Now you see the call coming in here. I'm going to accept the call and put myself on mute just to avoid the echo. So a couple of things have happened here. You will notice that I'm on the call now. Now for the entire duration of this voice call, I'm not available to receive work across native ServiceNow channels, again, such as chat or email or cases, because I'm engaged with a customer or an employee / a caller on the voice call. Now, this is, again, the CTI that the rep will use to make and receive calls. Over here, you see that first and foremost, the caller information has been verified. Here is the number that the caller called from, and you see a screen pop of the record from within ServiceNow. And then on the right-hand side in the activity section, you see the path that the caller took once they called in. So as you can see here, number 1, the caller entered into the IVR, and then a new interaction record was created. The caller pressed 1 for the incident, and then they were prompted to ask for an incident number, and they entered the incident number, and then the call was delivered to the agent. The idea is that any information you gather from the caller while in the IVR or across the digital channels, IVR being one of those, all that information is captured and presented to the agent, to the rep, so that they know what the caller has been through and they can best serve the caller and handle the work assignment appropriately. Over here on the CTI, you can see they have the telephony controls to complete the call, to enter the notes here. I'm going to be entering some notes here. Power of ServiceNow Omnichannel. All right. And then I can, of course, select a call disposition, basically a summary of the outcome of the call, whether the issue was resolved or not. The rep can also refer to script while on the calls, a greeting, readout, FAQ. Again, any information that will help them address the issue at hand. And then they can hit finalize to complete the call. But before we do that, couple of things again here. You can see the record is available to the rep over here. Everything they need while on the call is available right here. And I'm going to complete the call now and hit finalize so that I make myself available. Now, you will notice that as soon as I completed the call, I become available to receive work across other digital channels as well, namely chat, email, or case. Now, a few things have happened as soon as I completed the call. You will notice here the related task related to this interaction. Over here, there is a task created and there are phone logs created in relation to this task. Now, as soon as I completed the call, you're not able to see it, but I received a text on my mobile phone asking me to rate the conversation on a scale of 1 to 10 about today's call. So I'm going to go ahead and reply to the customer satisfaction survey. And then you will notice that the result of that survey comes back in the phone log here. This is the summary of the phone log. You can see few fields, for example, if the call was incoming or outgoing, or the phone number, start time, end time, and so on. If you clicked on a call, it will give you all the details for this call. It will show you the start time of the call, the end time of the call, and so on, and an actual link to the call recording that you can click and listen to the record. All right, so now we have completed the call. And again, I'm available to receive work across other channels. So this is how the day looks like for a rep. Now, let's take a look at the administrative side, how the administrator can configure the IVR, can configure the settings to assign work for the rep. Over here, you see the IVR. This is the IVR that I called into when I made the inbound call. And this is what the administrator will set up, starting with an initial greeting and then a welcome prompt. And then they can set up different options. Very easy drag and drop IVR designer. They can set up options, select one if you have an existing incident as opposed to two for a case. And then the input can be validated, a case number can be accepted, and then look here, depending upon the case number or the configuration you set up, system can fetch information or share information within the ServiceNow database and find out the rep that is most adept to take this call. Again, the idea is the information, the intelligence gathered across multiple digital channels should be used to route the call to the appropriate agent who can resolve the issue. As you can see here. So this is how you enable, you empower right reps to take right calls. Now, in addition to setting up the IVR here, the administrators have the power to see the data gathered from the calls. Since the data is posted back into ServiceNow call log tables, the administrator can bring in the chat or data from other digital channels such as cases or email or incident and marry that data together to drive performance or reporting across multiple channels. Let's take a look at one of the reports here. It would be good to see, for example, requests or work assignments coming across per incident category. For example, over here, we can see the calls per category. Now, these are obviously only the calls. However, the ServiceNow administrators can bring in data or interactions such as chat or email from other channels and incorporate those over here and marry the data to see how many calls, chats, or emails altogether are coming for specific categories. For example, over here, you see we have 62% of the calls coming in general inquiry or questions, as opposed to 12% for software related questions, and then 4% for hardware related questions. Now, of course, upon deeper investigation, you may be able to find that the 61% calls that are coming here for general inquiry are actually very simple password reset. So you could use that information to perhaps automate password resets so that you have only a fewer calls coming into the call center or to the reps for password reset. So you can automate some simple task, or let's say provide some frequently asked questions information to reduce the number of calls coming into the reps. And also, the reps have the ability to manage the customer journey. As you can see here in real time, the administrators can see what percentage of calls are flowing into the IVR for a specific key press option. For example, over here, you can see out of all the calls coming in, 17% of calls are resulting in key press 1, which could be for an incident if they have an existing incident or not. And 23% of the calls are being resulting in key press 2 or the cases, as opposed to 18% resulting in key press 3, and so on. So this gives you the visibility into what the customer is going through when they make the call. So you can experience the customer journey, and you can optimize the IVR to address your customers' issues. The values here you can see are available in the percentage as well as whole number format. So you can see the actual number of calls routing or resulting into specific key presses. So again, this is how you can leverage 3C Logic voice incorporated into other ServiceNow digital channels to offer a true omni-channel experience for your customers, for your callers, could be employees or customers calling for service desk. Just a recap of what we have covered here. We started with the agent experience, how the agents can offer omni-channel through 3C Logic, ServiceNow integrated CTI, and then the caller verification and customer IVR journey. What step they have gone through in order to reach the rep. And then we looked at the administrator experience to really empower the reps, give them the tools that they need and the information that they need in order to address customer issues. And then they have the ability, the extended visibility into performance measurement with consolidated reporting and dashboards. Time for questions and answers. Kathy, do we have any questions so far?
Yes, we do. We have 3 questions so far. The first question is, how much does it cost to add this?
That's a great question. There is actually no additional cost to add this functionality. The functionality is actually made available within the Madrid release of ServiceNow. So if you're already using ServiceNow, and the Madrid release, but don't know or don't know how to use what you saw today, send me an email and we'll get you caught up.
Okay. The second question is, what are the next steps to start using this?
So again, really, the first step is to make sure you are on the ServiceNow Madrid release. So if you are still using a prior release of ServiceNow, the first step would be to get that going with your ServiceNow administrator. And once you do have the ServiceNow Madrid release, or as you plan to upgrade to ServiceNow Madrid release, please let me know when that is complete. We'll upgrade your 3C Logic version and you will be all set.
Okay, and the last question is, I believe when you had the phone log up when you were in the demo, the question is, out of the box, the phone log table doesn't track related task category. Is this a database view?
Yes, it is a database field.
Okay.
Yes, and I can go into further details if you just drop me an email or give me a quick call. We can go into further details. We can see what your use case is and what your integration is as of today, and then take it from there.
Sure. It looks like that that answer was sufficient. One more quick question. I don't know if it's quick, but can you talk a little more about the SMS functionality?
Oh, absolutely. So we had a lot of requests from our customers regarding the customer satisfaction surveys. So what the SMS functionality here allows you to do is you can set templates as preset SMS that can go out immediately after the call. For example, the template we use here is on a scale of 1 to 10, please rate your experience of the call today. And then the callers can text reply back on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's say they put an 8 or a 9. And then that text comes back and can be captured as part of the interaction, as you saw earlier. And then you can drive reports off of those in order to, for example, let's say, filter the calls that resulted in a customer satisfaction rating of less than 5. Maybe it's it's a time or a reason to call them again and really acknowledge their experience and do something about it, as opposed to the calls that resulted in a 9 or 10. Use those as an opportunity, for or as an examples of excellent customer service to train new reps. And again, I can go into further details if you drop me an email or give me a quick call.
We have 2 more questions. Do you want to go ahead and answer them now? We have a few more minutes.
Yes, we have 4 minutes, so we can
Okay.
take at least one and
Okay.
see.
Sure. One question is, can the call log details be restricted so the agents cannot see them?
That is correct, yes. So the call log details can be restricted. It really depends upon how you have set up the rep's profile within ServiceNow. So if the rep has, by default, whatever permissions, whatever the rep profile allows them to see, they will see only those fields.
Okay. And does the SMS configuration determine whether the call is originating from a mobile device versus landline when sending CSAT surveys?
That's a great question. As of today, by default, the SMS configuration does not determine. It assumes that the call is coming from a mobile phone, and it just picks up the caller ID and sends the text back. This is the phase 1.
Okay, great.
Any other questions, Kathy?
No, I think that that covers it all.
Well, I must say that I had a great crowd here and excellent questions. Just for the sake of time, in case the answers were short, please feel free to drop me a quick email or a call so we can go over those in details. Let's see what you can expect after the call today. First and foremost, you will receive the webinar recording. Please share it with your team. Share it with the supervisors internally, your ServiceNow administrator, your IT team, your managers, up and down. Share it as much as you can. And then you will receive a follow-up call from me to address any questions that we might not have answered today, or to go into further details. And of course, if you do not want to wait for my call and get ahead in the queue, please reach out to me. Most of you already have my contact information, but if not, here it is. You can drop me a quick email. We can schedule a phone call, or you can give me a call on my mobile here. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day.